Well, there you go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to TIMBP Live on this Thursday, the 30th of July. I almost said October for some reason. Why? I couldn't tell you. That's just the way my brain's working right now. I got no reason. I'm Perry, the host of this My Bourbon Podcast. If this is your first time checking out the live stream, thank you all so much for being here. It is great to see the folks in the chat. Thank you all as well to those who are watching on the replay here on the channel. If you have not already, please hit the like button, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Share it with your friends. It's a great way to get the channel around. We are trying to get up to 1,000 likes on the channel here very soon. 1,000 subscribers, rather. I apologize. And we'll talk more about that here in the near future. I'd like to do a giveaway of some kind to celebrate that, to get that going. But as always, super chats have not been set on the channel, just due to the amount of folks who have subscribed so far. And so instead, all of the places to do super chats are listed here below in the bar that you can see at the bottom of your screen, as well as in the description below. PayPal, Venmo, and Square, or the Cash App. So, thank you all so much again for being here. Don Nishida, all the way from Hawaii. Donnie the Linux Cat. Chad Hawley. Chris from Down Under. Jason of the Mash and Drum. Hello, Jason. Had a great time hanging out with Jason last night for his 2-year anniversary stream, doing a really fun blind tasting with him as well. That was great. Had a lot of fun doing that last night. Wheels with a Z. Hello, Wheels. Clifton Bourbon Bites. Everybody, we are going to be going to Clifton's live stream as well after this. So let's be sure to go check that out as well. Trev Wilson, the moderator. Hello, Trev Wilson, you handsome man. Spencer. Hello, Spencer. And thank you to everybody who is hanging out with us tonight. Lil, all the way from Down Under as well. So what I'm going to be doing tonight to kick off the show is to finally review a product that I have had in my possession for a couple weeks now. I haven't had a chance to actually get to reviewing it, and I figured now would be as good a time as any, and that is the Old Fitzgerald Bottled and Bond Spring Edition, 9 years old. Very excited to get into this. Brian Brenicky with the first super chat, $10 super chat. Thank you, Brian, for sending that my way. He said, "We may not be able to super chat, but we still think you're super." Thank you for that, Brian. Appreciate that, my friend. Would also like to know, the heck y'all drinking? Let me know what you're drinking in the chat. Would love to find out. Justin Deering, all the way from Charleston, South Carolina, one of my favorite places in the world. Hope you're doing well, Justin. Yeah, it's great to see you guys in here. Very excited about that. And again, let me know what you're drinking. Would love to know. So as I let this pour, kind of open up a little bit, tell you guys a couple of things you may have missed. Of course, this week's episode is out, came out yesterday. There was the pregame chats, which are available at patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. And the revamped, I say revamped, even though it's only the second week that we have been doing them, but the last call, which is what we use to wrap up each week's episodes, that is available, and it's fun. I had a really fun time recording it and editing it, and it's interesting. It's kind of indicative of what I would like to do here in the future with some Patreon episodes. So if you've not checked that out, you're not on Patreon. Patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. So appreciate you guys who do that. Also, cheers to you, Brian Brenicky, for sending. That sucked. For sending the first super chat. Do appreciate that, as always. So, Old Fitzgerald, Bottled and Bond. 9 years old. This is the spring release. I'm excited to get into this. The last 9-year-old product was the last 9-year-old Old Fits, I believe, came out in the fall of the first year that they put these out. So that was 2018. And I remember liking it quite a bit, but still the 14 year that came out that year was still by far my favorite Old Fits that happened. Very much mood lighting on this set. That's, yeah, again, I'm still trying to work on some of the lighting protocols here, but this is unfortunately what we have for the time being. As I get more settled in and have some more time to experiment with it, I'll fix it a little bit, get it a little bit more figured out. Chris said he loves the look of the garage transformation. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate that as well. Clifton said he's never had a chance to get a bottle of Old Fits. Well, hopefully you can do that soon. Lil apparently said there was something on the last call we would find amusing / interesting. There is something amusing that you will find on last call for this week. And you'll know very quickly. You'll know very quickly what it is. Yep. Don Nishida with the second super chat. He said, loved the post game. Thank you for that, Don. This week, I got to figure out a better way of doing these cheers. So, let's get into this. The nose is a little bit light, I will say. But it really does present some nice kind of like snickerdoodle notes to it. Light toffee, for sure. Kind of a bit of like chocolate chips, but like the Nestle chocolate chips, those kind of... Do you know those ones that have like a light powdered dusting on them? Something like that. Something like that. There's a savory note that's packed in there too that I'm having trouble picking out specifically, but it's interesting. I think there's even an earthy note that's kind of in the... It's kind of grassy. It's a little grassy, honestly, but it's good. I like the nose quite a bit. I got to know. I want to say something too. I don't normally do this, but I did have a little bit of it. Say a little bit. This is like a 200 ml bottle. Then I had enough to get it down to this amount between the time that I got it and now. This was one of those that I kind of wanted to adopt the Fred Minnick taste 3 times before you review method. And I will say, from the 3 times that I've experienced it, the nose at the very least is definitely opened up quite a bit. So from there, let's find out what happened to the palate. And with that, I will also say, cheers to you guys. Perry pour glass as well. Look at that. Oh. Wow, it's got some heat. Definitely a building heat. Goodness. That savory note's even coming through on the palate. Finish is a little bit short, but the heat definitely lingers. It's so strange, but I'm totally getting like a buttered potato on the palate on this one. That is really interesting. You hope I shared with Grandpapa Ritter? I have not yet, but he is going to get some of this here soon. I got to give a little bit to Swan as well. Clifton said he asked Heaven Hill for a media box for Lena Elijah Craig. They said they will see if they have any left. Wish you luck. Luck to you indeed. Mike Meyer. Hello, Mike. Good to see you in here. Trev Wilson wants to make a channel so we can get said media box. Hello, Joseph Brazel. Sorry you're still at work, man. Man. The nose is so specifically different. And it doesn't remind me of any old Fitz that I've had before. It's definitely something I need. I don't know. Maybe it's something about the wheat aspect of the mash bill, and it's not very viscous. It's really not very oily. I gotta go in for a second sip. I got to. Hello, Robot Scott. Good to see you. Good to see you in here. Yeah, the front end of the palate really is where the sweetness, the caramel, and the really what I was kind of saying on the nose with that chocolate note. That's where that exists. As it rolls, it starts to get more savory. There's a little bit of spice. That big heat that I was getting on the palate is totally gone, I would say. Sorry, I had to text about the washing. I apologize. But the heat's gone. The heat's totally gone, which I think is nice. I think it gives way for some of the flavors to really present themselves. I want to get one more. One more taste, for sure. Honestly, this is a solid offering from Heaven Hill for the Old Fitz Bottled and Bond. I think these tend to skew better older. And it's been a while since I've had the first 9 year, but it's still good. However, I just think that it's missing a little bit of a push to get it over the edge. Is it really good? Yeah, absolutely. As I'm talking too, I'm getting a like a peach flavor too. Really interesting. I have not had a lot of a peach flavors on bourbons before. Brent Bailey, I see you're in here now too. Hello, Brent Bailey. Good to see you. But it's solid. I think that's what my general consensus behind it is. It is $90, so they are continuing the trend where they do basically $10 for every year that it's been aged. So, yeah, I want to actually review this one with the number system that I normally use with the podcast, which is nose, palate, finish, and price. Each category is out of 5. Yeah, that's right. And then the final score is out of 20. So nose is a 3. I think it's very middle of the road with a little bit of something extra in that kind of savory note that I was talking about, especially like some of the more enjoyable nostalgic notes, where I was kind of talking about like those chocolate chips, those Nestle chocolate chips, and even like those baked into cookies. I think those are really interesting and specific on this product as well. So it's good, not great. I think 3 is really appropriate for the nose on this one. Palette, 3.5. It has definitely changed over time. I think that now that it's sat in the glass for a couple of minutes, I've gone back to it with a couple of different sips. It's definitely presented itself as being enjoyable, but lacking a little bit of something. And I think what that is the fact that there's not enough of a tannic note to it. It really seems to be lacking some of those big, bold flavors that other old Fitz releases have had. And I equate that to the age. I think that's just all it is. So 3.5, again, good, not great, slightly more towards the great side of it. Finish is where this really falls flat. Finish is a 2.5 for me. It's present, but it just dies so quickly that there's just not that much to write home about. Now, the big thing here is the value, the price overall on this product. So $90 a bottle is going to get you a 9-year-old bourbon, wheated, of course, with a beautiful bottle, a gorgeous decanter that it comes in. One of the things I love about the decanters from Heaven Hill with the old Fitz line is that they have infinite reusability. So instead of, say, like a glass topper corker, a glass topper that you would get with some decanters, Heaven Hill did something really smart. They kept the cork so that it's easier to pack and ship and everything, but it really seals the whiskey and it keeps it really nice inside the bottle. And so what I have always planned to do, I have it's either a 13 or an 11 year. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I have one of those in my cabinet. And my intention has always been, when I'm done with it, to strip it of the labels and then use it for a decanter, because of how pretty it looks. It makes a really nice piece, kind of a conversation piece, I guess, or centerpiece. But it also, like I said, hello, Matt Porter from ADHD Whiskey. Good to see you, friend. It seals whiskey in better. It seals the product in better than just a glass stopper that you would find in basically any old decanter. So with that in mind, yes, $90 is considerable. When you think about the pricing, even just based on age, it can be reasonable to agree, but I think what really sets these products above the rest is the bottle that it comes in, this gorgeous decanter that becomes a talking point in some regard. So I actually, surprisingly, am going to give the price a 4. I think you're not finding wheated products that are given in this presentation, and though they're not necessarily readily available, they are much less allocated than the Van Winkle line, even some of the of course the Weller products as well. And I think it might be kind of neck and neck with some of the Larceny products, Larceny barrel proofs, whether it's single barrel or the batches that they put out. So 4 is actually what I'm going to give. Is Perry already schlammered? Andrew, no, I am not. I did have a couple of drinks. We went out to dinner before with a listener of the show, Fred Gilbert, who might show up in here at some point. But no, I am not already schlammered. That might happen eventually, though. But not right now. But maybe eventually. But right now, no. Anyway, so that brings my final score up to a 13 out of 20. So is this actually a recommend for me? I think, again, from terms of collectability, it's there. And I know how desirable these bottles can get. Also, it's raining, so if there's some rain sound effects in the background, you know why. I didn't just pepper those in. Anyway, I think that from a collectability standpoint, it's high. I think that people will find great value in that alone. So 13 out of 20. Normally, our recommendations kind of sit in the 15 range. 13 and 14 are kind of on the lower end of recommendation. I would say that this is a very middle-of-the-road presentation from the Old Fitz Bottled and Bond decanter products. I think that the higher-aged ones, even just past releases, are better than this one. Is it the worst? I don't know. I haven't done these blind. I haven't done them in a flight. And also, I mean, it's been a while since I've had any of the other ones. Like I said, I have a decanter one here, but I don't really get into it too much just because of how much I like it. But with that being said, if you can find this one, I still think it's a pickup. I think it's still something you should look for. So that's my review of the Old Fitz Bottled and Bond. You know what? I just realized the title on this is wrong. All I did was change the name. Fitzgerald Bottled and Bond Spring 2020 review. Sorry about that. I get so antsy about getting this, getting everything up that sometimes stuff slips and I miss it. So again, I apologize for that. So again, yeah, that's my review for this one, and well, it's awfully early. It's awfully early to be wrapping up so quickly. I think we should do something else. I have this. I don't know if you guys would be interested in hearing about it, but the Elijah Craig toasted barrel, is that something that you guys would be interested in hearing some tasting notes on? I mean, this is it's new. Nobody's reviewed it yet. Nobody's tasted it. I mean, as far as I know. So I'm kind of I'm curious. Should I crack it? Should I open it? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just drink this Old Forester 1920 instead. But okay. So you guys do want me to open it. Okay. All right. Well, if the chat wants it, then let's crack it. Let's open this up. So this isn't going to be a full review. That's coming on next week's episode. It did lose for me last night, Clifton. This is not going to be a full review. This is basically going to be my first impression. The full review is going to be on next week's episode. I wanted to open this and give it some time to air out. Also wanted to see just what the heck's going on with this product. What is the difference between a charred versus toasted barrel? So toasted barrels usually are flash toasted, so they sent yes, it is kind of like a light chardon. So they send like a burst of heat into it to bring out some of the sweeter notes, kind of. But the char is really taking in those deeper notes. So when you get a toasted barrel, usually what they've done, if I had an ascot, I could look more like Fred Minnick. I don't want to do my I don't want to do my Fred impression. It's mean. I love Fred. He's a wonderful person. So, anyway, I just want to know what's going on with this one. I just got this today. Hours before I mean, I got it at like 5:00, so about 4 hours ago, and maybe not even that long. And we went out to dinner, and this has been teasing me. It's like when you're a kid and you get all your Christmas presents and then you have to go to grandma's house and you leave most of them at home. That's how this felt. That's how this one felt. So, without further ado, I don't honestly know if anybody has reviewed this or talked about it yet in a media space. So, it could be exclusive. Share this on social media. Tell somebody that we're doing this. This is worth getting more viewers. Come on. Okay, here we go. Solid. Hey, Swan's here. Hello, Swan. Do I know the MSRP? $50. This is a $50 bottle of bourbon. It is going to be allocated, but it is also going to be available year-round. So this isn't the only release that's going to come from Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. But this is the first one. And I am very excited to be sharing with you guys my first impression of the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. So, I need another sip of water. Let's do this. Shut the front door. What is happening in the nose on this one? No. It is straight up white chocolate covered pretzels. With a marshmallow note that just sucks it to you, man. Does it smell like Teen Spirit? Yeah, sure. Oh, that's good. Okay. I'm going to taste this. I don't know what's going to happen. I could blow up. The world could end. At this rate, who's to say? Anything could literally happen. So, it's time. First review. I honestly don't know of anybody who has tasted this yet in the bourbon world, the content creators. So this could be an exclusive. Also, thanks to Bourbon Blind for the glass. Okay. Time to cut the crap. Okay. 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 Hello. Hmm. Hmm. Um. This is really good. This is really, really good. The finish is still going. When did I take my first sip? 30, 45 seconds ago? It's still it's still building. It's still crawling through the back of my tongue. Oh, it's this chocolate and caramel drizzled toasted marshmallow through and through. This is so much more flavorful and full bodied than the old Fitz bottled and bond 9-year. This is I need a second sip. Oh my gosh. Front end starts as like a vanilla sugar cookie before it starts getting into this cornucopia of fruits and spices and just sweets as it's layered with that toasted oak flavor, and it's starting to get layered even more and more with baking spices and with a syrup, and I mean like true like pancake syrup towards the back of the palate, and I'm still talking. I'm talking, and it's still presenting itself more and more, which I guess is a good way to kind of do a chew, but it's just it's so dense. I will say that you can definitely pick out where it is a a Heaven Hill product. Maybe even an Elijah Craig. I think that note is still present. But what it's done is really just bumped it up to 11. And it's that toasted process, right? It's that toasting of the barrel that's actually bringing out some more of the caramelized sugars, and it's bringing out some of these deep flavors that just charring doesn't provide. Let me get caught up in the chat as well. The Bourbon Blind logo always looks like it's flipping me off. Old Fitz officially unrecommended. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's really what I'm getting at. I think that they are just recommendations for different reasons. This is a recommendation because it's so flipping good that I would buy 2 or 3 bottles of it. The Old Fitz. Oh my gosh, look at the legs. Can you guys see the legs on this? I don't know if you can. I apologize. There we go. You can kind of see them there. So, to answer Lil's question, yes, this is 94 proof. And it is sticking to the glass like it's over 100, at least into the 110, 115. Did they give an age? No. But it is finished in the toasted oak for 18 months. So I imagine that this is anywhere from their standard kind of 8 to 12 that they do with their blending. And it definitely shows. This honestly kind of seems to be on the higher end of the age in terms of their spectrum. But this is so good. And I'm again not going to get into the specifics of it until until next week's episode. But I can tell you, this is a stunner. This is a stone cold stunner. I don't know any other way to say it. I mean, Heaven Hill showed up and showed out with it. I might even have to share like a video of this, just me talking about, because I haven't. If anybody knows anybody else who has put out a review of this tonight, let me know, or tasting notes or anything, because I feel like this is the first one, and strike while the iron's hot, I guess. But I am a fan. I am a fan of this. Swan, I can't wait for you to taste it. Really legitimately cannot wait for you to taste this one. How do I order a case of it? That is the big problem. Not out until September. So we've got to. We'll have to repost this in a month and a half. Clifton would assume older too. Yes. Brian said, my biggest surprise today was the label change with ECBP B520. Notice Toasted has the new label style too. They do indeed. They should send you more because you sold it to me, and that WWE reference was even better. 12, hard 12. Compared to Michter's Toasted, Andrew Buchanan, it's been a while since I've had Michter's Toasted. I think, if memory serves me right, this would be my winner. Do I want to compare the two? Absolutely. I need to actually find some of the toasted Michters. Do a trim down of this live like Chad and Sarah have been doing and post it. I might have to. Clifton. Dustin, what you missed was my first reactions to the brand new Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. More to come on that, though. More to come on that. Am I going to have to hide this from myself so that I don't drink all of it? Yes. Yes, I am. I am going to have to drink this sparingly, even though I want everybody that I know to try it who likes bourbon. It's very good. It is very good. And like I said, we're going to do a full in-depth review of this next week on next week's episode. But from the out of the starting gate, Heaven Hill killed it. They did a really good job. It's getting. I don't want to say this. I don't want to say this yet. But I'm going to say it anyway. This is quickly becoming a contender for one of my top 10 this year. When is this supposed to hit shelves? This is supposed to start hitting shelves in September, so we don't have too much longer to wait, just about a month. But that being said, jump on it. Jump on it if you see it. It is $50 a bottle, though. And I understand that people are not going to be super happy about that. We did talk a little bit about that on this week's episode, but all in all, it's good stuff. Really. And thank you again, Heaven Hill, for sending me this bottle. You guys have always taken really good care of us and treated the show well. I feel like we've responded with honesty, and we want to continue to do that. So thank you once again, Heaven Hill, and hopefully we can keep doing this in the future. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on my first thoughts on Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. So, more to come. Let's get caught up in the chat here real quick. Brian Brennicky said, Dustin, next time you're in Lexington, I think you need to help Perry take down those UK posters. I don't want these UK posters. They can... What am I doing? I don't want them. If anybody wants them, if anybody's a diehard UK fan and they like collecting stuff like this, let me know. If they're yours, I'll give them to you for $20 or something. I don't care. So, Justin Deering, when someone asks what bourbon tastes like, is this what you tell them now? I don't know if this is my ideal bourbon for telling people what bourbon tastes like. I think this might just be an elevated version of what Berlioz. Where is he? I don't know what he's doing. He yelled at me for a second. Anyway, so $50 a bottle. Again, I think that it's not necessarily the most ideal in terms of what. Where did I go? What was I? I was talking about if this is what I will tell them is what bourbon tastes like. I again think that this is just an elevated version of what I think bourbon does taste like, which is just the standard Elijah Craig. That's I think that's going to be my answer for a long time. So that's how I feel about that. What exactly does toasted mean? So toasted means that they have done kind of a flash fry of the barrel instead of the full char where they let it kind of linger with the flames, bringing out the oaky or the tannic notes that come from the barrel. In this case, they might be doing it for a second or two as opposed to a full 15 to 20 seconds. I can't remember exactly how long the levels of char go. But some barrels can get toasted and then get charred. This specific barrel that they finished the Elijah Craig toasted in has been just that. So it has been toasted, but it's also been charred. But it's a low char. It's number one char. So you're not getting like a double barrel finish that you would with, say, a Woodford a double oaked. In this case, what you're getting is something more. They're just taking what was already there and expounding upon it. Would rather have it at cast strength, but for something new and unique, I would pay. Yeah, man. I would also like it at cast strength, but it's definitely different. And I like that Heaven Hill clearly did something right with this too. Sorry, Berlioz is staring at the ceiling. Got worried for a second. Is there a bug in here, buddy? Can you find it? He tries to be a hunter, but he's not always. Oh, man, oh man. I was gonna end up finishing off this stream with something I've never done before, but I might actually save this for next week's live. The Jack Daniel's single barrel proof bourbon, or excuse me, not bourbon, whiskey. I have never talked about this on any kind of platform before. I've honestly never really owned a bottle of it. I've tried it before, but it's never been something that I've taken the time to discuss my thoughts or feelings on. So next week I'm probably gonna do that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm not quite done yet. I still want to drink on this. You thought I was talking to a child. No, I'm talking to our cat. One of our cats. Berlioz, are you good boy? Berlioz. Hi, buddy. He's being a ham right now. He's being a big old ham. Clifton's drinking the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof tonight on his stream. I'll join you with that. Jack is a bit better at higher proof. I agree. And I'm actually going to go through and, do some more in-depth stuff with it. Y'all check it out if you're curious. All right, Trev, Donnie, one of you guys, drop a link for for Clifton's stream after we're done here. I'm going to be popping back in there after I take care of a couple things with Lucy Bell. She needs me to take a 29-week picture, which is crazy. She's 29 weeks pregnant tomorrow, which means we're really getting down to the wire, you guys. more on what's to happen with the podcast and stuff once that happens. It's all going to be fine. Hey, Donnie got it. Donnie got it. Hey, Donnie, thanks for getting it, man. We're still gonna have stuff that goes out, but it's not going to be as topical, I think, as episodes have been recently. So you'll see. We'll talk about it more here soon. Nothing wrong with extra turkey, indeed. So I figured to in the last 15-ish minutes to wrap up the stream, I guess we'll have to welcome in Papa Ritter first. Hey, Dad, how are you, buddy? Dad and I and Mom and Dane and Sarah, we moved them out of their apartments into a house today, along with Dane and his girlfriend. So it was a long morning, but hopefully the evening was not as difficult. But yes, Grandpapa Ritter is here. So what I was gonna say though is that for the last few minutes of the stream, I figured I would ask you guys to ask me questions. I know that we always do the questions for the pregame chats, but we got a little bit of time, and I didn't want to hop off the stream yet. I'm having a good time and enjoying talking with you guys. But if you guys have any questions or anything that you'd like for me to answer, please drop them below. Also, there's still plenty of time to get some super chats in too. That's a great way to ask questions as well. Again, all of those can be found at the links below, since I am not actually set up to do super chats on YouTube just yet. Chris, Grandpapa Ritter's actually in the Lexington Bourbon Society now. So the only organizing he had to do was become a member, and he was able to pick that up. Oh, Dustin had electrical problems last night. That sucks. Yes, Brian, Papa Ritter, Grandpa Ritter definitely needs to have a good pour. Do I prefer Tennessee whiskey over Texas whiskey? Clifton, that is a great question. I think in my experience, I prefer Tennessee whiskey. I think that I've been more favorable towards Tennessee whiskeys. But that being said, I mean, there's been plenty of stuff that I've had from Texas that I like. I just think that the heat and the youth don't really lend themselves to being as high a quality as some of the stuff that's aged around here. But I think I would have to lean Tennessee. I think that's my initial thought on that one. But I'd take Kentucky over both of them any day of the week. Oh, come on, man. I said it once, or twice, or 13 times. Elijah Craig, Toasted Barrel. That's where it's at. I'm happy I got to do a little surprise review too, or tasting of this. I was worried that it wasn't going to come today, and that I was going to have to worry about getting it tomorrow, because every time I looked at the UPS tracker, it was like, so if like our house was here, it was like, it's almost there. And then like a minute later, it said it was like over here. And then it would say almost there. And then a minute later, it would say it was all the way up here. And I was like, just give me my box. Like, I know that you have it. I know how close you are. I want you to bring it to me. I will say thank you. Papa Redder said, do you know what would be cool? TIMBP masks. Heck yes. Heck yes. I need to look at Threadless and see if they're doing them. Or see if I can do something with that. Stay tuned for that. I'm gonna work on that. Also had, so I'll tell you a little story. Today's been fun for podcast land, for me at least. Between the bottle arriving and a really cool email. I was getting ready for dinner tonight, and I got an email from somebody representing a face in the bar industry that I did not think. I kind of thought maybe eventually it would happen. I never thought I would get on the podcast. But there is a good chance that there's going to be a more high-profile bar scene celebrity on the podcast sometime soon. That's all I'm going to say. Favorite low-proof bourbon under 92 proof? Buffalo Trace. Four Roses Small Batch. Old Crow Reserve, which you can't get anymore. Shoot. That's a good question. I don't drink much under 92-ish proof anymore. So I'll have to work on that. Joseph Brazo's back. Hello, Joseph Brazo. It's annoying when you don't get the first time. Threadless does have masks. Fantastic. Well, I'm going to have to set that up tonight before I go to bed then. Jim Belushi, he'd be fun to have on. I would love to have Jim Belushi on, but he's busy at the moment. How was the Toasted Barrel Elijah Craig? Phenomenal. Really, Joseph, I'm floored by it. Again, they did an incredible job with it. More on that next week. But in general, I am truly tickled to death by it. I think they've got good stuff. The fact that this is going to be a yearly release too, yes, it is going to be allocated, but it is. Yeah, they did a good job. Mike's not usually that low either. Well, glad that you knew what you were what you were fishing for at that point. Regardless, any more questions or anything? Still got a few minutes. Maybe in about 5 minutes, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Maybe a little bit sooner, so we can get over to Clifton's stream. Get ready for that. Yeah. I want to say thank you all so much, too, for hanging out. Thank you all to those who have stuck it out here on the replay as well. Don says he'd love to see Jack Maxwell, a.k.a. Booze Traveler. Yes. I have actually been in contact with Jack before about getting on the podcast. He said yes, but it was pre-COVID, so it kind of fell through a little bit. I am going to work on getting him on, though. That is totally something that I want to have happen. But it's not Jack Maxwell. And that's the last I'm going to say. If anybody has any other guesses, I'm not going to say yes or no as to who that might be. Thanks for the sneak peek at the Elijah Craig Toasted Perry. Clifton, you're welcome. It is my pleasure to drink some bourbon and to actually, give some people some insight. I just like drinking bourbon. Yeah, that's it. Papa Ritter said he's tapping out. 11 cheers to all. Thank you for your help today, Perry. Dad, you're welcome. Love you, buddy, and I love you too, Dad. It's great seeing you in here. I think that is going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you all again so much for being here and hanging out with me on TIMBP Live, as you do every week. Once again, if you have not yet, please hit the like, share, comment, subscribe things, all of that. I appreciate everybody who has done that already. Let's try to push for at least 500 subscribers here soon. We'll get a giveaway for 500 going, and then another one for 1,000 when that time comes. Yeah. If you've not followed the show yet, at My Bourbon Pod on all social media channels. Leave 5-star rate and review. New episodes come out every Wednesday, of course. And then become a patron of the show, patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast. So that's it. That does it for me tonight. We'll see you guys over on Clifton's stream. And we'll see you next week for another episode and for another live stream. But until then, I'm Perry. And this is My Bourbon Podcast live. Cheers, guys.